Hello, folks. Damien Jones here again for you today. It's been a while, but I am back. Today, I wanted to share with you something that I think is pretty cool. Um, it's a method of upcycling, if you will. It's basically, do you ever get a really nice bottle and you come to the end of its use, whatever that might be, and you think to yourself, well, actually, in the case of this one, that's a really nice bit of cobalt blue. Wouldn't it be nice to up-purpose that and, I don't know, maybe make it as a container for, I don't know, keep your pens in, say, on the desk, or, just small items, just have it nice in the window. You could even make it into a little flower vase. But the problem is, you've still got this lip on the top and this bulb here, it needs cutting down. Now, the obvious way to go about that would be to get an angle grinder, which might be a bit overkill for a little bottle like this, and destroy it. Or you want to go down the road of getting a Dremel. Yeah? There are various ones on the market, there's the Black & Decker one, but again, it's expensive. If you get, say, one of the unbranded types of Dremel, they're often not very powerful. Take it from me. You can pick them up for about a tenner, and they're not very effective. They just don't have enough power in them, to cut through glass, or the bits that come with them are just cheaply made, and once they're wore out, you can't get the size to fit it, and all of this kind of thing. One other road you could go down is using a power drill with a grinding disc on the end. You could cut it down that way. Now that might be a not so bad option, but again, it's a little bit overkill for a small bottle like this, and you do risk completely shattering it. So I thought today I'd try an experiment. I went and picked up, it's probably going back about 4 years ago. I went and picked up this thing. It's basically a bottle cutter, and what it consists of is basically a sheet of metal with a lot of rollers, and on this little wheel here there's a glass cutter or a glass scorer, similar to what you would use if you're doing crafts, or you work with stained glass, say. You'll basically get like a little pen type device, and on one end you've got this graphite little tip which scores the glass, and then on the other end of that you'll have like a hard heavy bulb which you use to tap the glass. How do I explain better? Let's say you have a sheet of glass. You score the shape out that you want to cut. You then tap that. Where you've scored the glass, it's weak and it generally just fractures out. They've taken the idea of that. They've added one of them scorers to a wheel. And what we basically do is we take our glass bottle. It comes with an Allen key so that you can adjust this section, which goes back and forth. You secure it. So you secure it in the area where you want to go. Now what I've done is I've measured it out so that we fit our bottle here, as I want to cut it around this area here. I want this bit gone. And what I basically do is I put this down. It's got rubber feet on so it doesn't slip, hopefully. And basically we press down on the bottle and turn it gradually on these rollers, and it holds it in the perfect position. And we should get a perfect score all around the area that we want to remove. Now, what we do then, because obviously because of the shape of the glass here, we can't just tap it, we risk shattering it. So what the idea is if we get this bottle and we put it, it's got a bit of water in when I washed it out. If we get the bottle and we put this end of it in some boiling hot water and warm the glass, right? We then, once the glass is warmed, we run that area that's been scored directly under a cold running tap. What should happen is that this bit should just fracture off, and then of course once that bit is removed, the pack comes with some sandpaper to obviously smooth it off so you don't have a sharp rim. It comes with all the instructions and such, and it basically says hot, cold to get it to work. So I've never actually tried one of these before, and so again, as ever, this is totally experimental on my part, and I do risk damaging this lovely cobalt blue glass, but I thought we could do it together. And if it works, we'll have a nice little cobalt blue container which we can keep pens or whatever in. And if we fail, well, it's just going to be a bit of fun. So I'm going to boil the kettle, which is just at the back of you, and we're going to see what happens. Okay, so the kettle's on. What I think I'll do is I'll fill this with, maybe this actually, yeah. I think we'll fill this with the boiling water, and we'll soak this in here and warm it up for a few minutes, and then we'll plunge it straight under the cold tap and we'll see what happens. So the kettle's now boiled. I'll bring this forward and we'll make our score, and hopefully it'll be okay. We press down allegedly. So now, as you can see, we have a perfect score mark going all the way around the area which we wish to remove. So, touch wood, this will be okay. Let's take our boiling water first and just fill this container. And now we'll gently warm our glass up and see what happens. Shouldn't take too long. Obviously be careful with boiling water. Whether this is going to work or not, I really don't know. I mean, the theory suggests it would. And obviously there's a plethora of YouTube videos out there that would suggest that it does. Oh, that's red hot. Okay, we'll just hold it in there just for a few moments, just so that it gives the glass a chance to completely warm up. Okay, now we're going to suddenly shock it with some cold water and hopefully don't end up with shards of broken glass sticking out of our hands. Okay. Okay, I think that should be okay. You ready? Cold water. Hey, first time. Lovely. So it does work, but sadly, in principle, this method does work, but sadly, it's not perfect because it has fractured a crack right down this bottle, right down the side there. See? And also one's gone right down the side here. So I suppose it's a case of getting the score on there right. I suppose there's a knack to it. So it's a first attempt. And sadly, we've lost the cobalt bottle because that's broken. It's cracked right down here, but it has removed what it intended to. Bear with. Let's just cool that down. It did remove what it intended to, which was this section. It's just unfortunately it was imperfect. Now you do get that with glass cutters as well, because I used to work with stained glass. Oh yeah, and I see down here it's totally cracked down the side there too. So, I mean, I suppose what you could do is you could sand it down anyway, and you could use some, you know, that gel that you get when you've got a chip in your windscreen on the car. Instead of spending a load of money replacing your windscreen, you put this gel in and it sort of repairs the crack. You could do that on this and still make use of it, but I'm not going to. I think the idea with this would be to practice it. But as you can see, as a cutter, it does work. But there is a bit of a knack to it, you know? So, I mean, marks out of 10, what would I give this device? I'd say in principle, it's a good idea, it works, but obviously you must expect a few failures, yeah? I'll see what else I've got to try, and I'll probably perfect this. Maybe if you put it in a certain way, or maybe you have to get the score done in a certain way. I don't know. I'll experiment, but it does work, as you can see. I'll give you the name of it so you can try yourself. I mean, obviously, if this hadn't have got a crack coming through here and one down the side there, obviously what I would do then is I would sand down any sharp edges, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. You've got a nice little container there, haven't you? I'll just give you the name of the device if you want to try one of these. Okay. It's basically called a standard type glass bottle cutter. And that's it. And it's made by 3-piece carbide wheels. So that's what the glass scoring part is. It's carbide. But yeah, I mean, in principle, it works. So yeah, I will experiment with that further, and you know, at some point, failures permitting, I will have a lot of upcycled glass bottles to use as containers, or I don't know, to drink out or whatever. For now, though, that's a wrap, folks. My name's Damien Jones. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon with something else. Bye for now.